A very good morning to all of you students. Welcome here in this YouTube channel. We are dealing with our last unit, that is the Great Stone Phase 2. Very fascinating, and we can say interesting story it is. I mean, the character of the story, that Ernest, is indeed a beautiful character. Beautiful not only by face but also by soul. He is longing for the face who resemble like mountain. He has passed his full life in longingness of that face. In part 1 we have discussed that many people came but who just resembled like Ernest, but they were not. In second part we came to know that there was one poet. That poet came to meet Ernest, and the poetry that poet has been writing was just have the combination of mountains. So Ernest thought so that poet resembled like mountain, but no, that poet didn't resemble like mountain. After that, Ernest became so sad that he was now old, and he didn't get any face like that mountain. Up to this we have discussed. Now it's time to go for the next part of this unit. You are requested to keep a textbook with you. Please keep a textbook with you. Unit number 10, the Great Stone Phase 2. Well, we have discussed up to page number 131 and up to second paragraph. You can hear in hand the distant voice of heavenly, that we have discussed. I am reading from the third paragraph of the page number 131. The poet spoke sadly and his eyes were wet with tears. So too were those of Ernest. When the poet said that no, he didn't have that spirit, that positive spirit of mountain which Ernest was looking for. So Ernest became sad, and his eyes were wet. At the hour of sunset, as had long been his custom, Ernest was to speak to a group of neighbors in the open air. Together he and the poet went to the meeting place arm in arm. From there could be seen the great stone face. So that was a habit. Here we have one word, that is custom. Custom means habit. So it was Ernest's habit to speak to a group of neighbor. Means he just delivered a speech to a group of neighbor in open air. So as per his habit, he went to speak to that neighbor, and this time that poet also went with him in arm. Ernest threw a look of familiar kindness around upon his audience. His audience was ready there. So when Ernest reached there, he just threw a familiar kindness around his audience. He began to speak to the people what was in his heart and mind. See, he never prepared any speech. He always began by telling the words of his heart and mind. Whatever was going in his heart and in his mind, that he used to deliver. So he did the same thing here even. His words had power because they agreed with his thoughts. See, whatever he used to deliver, that has power because his words and his thoughts both were clear. He was speaking as he was thinking. Means both, that was a combination. Both have combination, his words and thoughts, because they agreed with his thoughts, and his thoughts had reality and depth because they harmonized with the life which had always lived. And we can say here that his thoughts and words Harmonized with means corresponded with, agreed with. And those words came from the experience of his life. It was not mere breath that the preacher uttered. They were the words of life. Those were very important words. It was the words of life. A life of good deeds and selfless love was melted into them. We all know that Ernest's life was so full of kindness. His life was full of generosity. His life was full of life. So those words came automatically from his mouth, and that's why those words had power. The poet, as he listened, felt that the life and character of Ernest were nobler strain of poetry than he had ever written. So, see, when this was going, when this speech was going, at that time, poet was also there, that guest who came to Ernest's house. So that poet was also there, and he noticed something. He noticed that Ernest were the full of nobler strain of good poetry. Means Ernest was a good person. Actually, it was a pure soul. His eyes filled with tears, and he said himself that never was there so worthy a sage as that mild, sweet, thoughtful face with the glory of white hair diffused about it. So, those words affected so wisely to that poet. He started crying. So, tears rolled down from his eyes, means on his cheeks. And he just came to know that those were the beautiful, the sweetest and thoughtful face of Ernest, with the glory of white hair diffused about it. Here we have one word, that is sage. Sage means a wise man. And diffused. Spread all around. Thoughtful. That is kind, attentive, and good-hearted. Okay, so poet observed all the qualities of Ernest. At a distance but clearly to be seen, high up in the golden light of setting sun, appeared the great stone face with white mist around it. So as soon as poet saw the face of Ernest and those quality, he also observed that mountain. That mountain was also covered with white mist. So eventually we can say the face of Great Stone Mountain and face of Ernest resembled very clearly. with white mist around it, like the white hairs around the brow of Ernest. See, those mist and white hair of Ernest, both were similar somewhere. At that moment, Ernest's face took an expression so grand that the poet was moved to throw his arms up and shout. So suddenly, that the one expression that Ernest had expressed, or Ernest had shown one expression, and that expression resembled like that mountain. So poet got the idea and he just raised his arm and he just shouted, "Behold, behold, Ernest is himself the likeness of great stone face." See, can you imagine? Means Ernest was looking for, or we can say longing for, that face which who has resembled with that mountain, and he had been longing for a long time, from his childhood we can say. And that poet declared that Ernest was the person whose face looked similar like mountain. It was indeed a miracle. It was indeed a surprising thing for both Ernest and poet. Behold means see. To see. Okay, please you note down this. After that we'll reveal that secret, that actually Ernest was looking like a mountain or not. Please you note down. Please turn the page, student. See, here in picture we can see Ernest is there, and that behind the Ernest or these people, mountain is there. And you can see, student, here both are looking similar. Finally that end came and Ernest finally got that face whom he was just longing for. Let's see the last paragraph of the unit. Then all the people looked and saw that what the poet said was true. Now that the poet told that, see, Ernest had the same face, everybody looked at and everybody was surprised. And everybody got the idea, yes, Ernest has that face. The prophecy was fulfilled. But Ernest, having finished what he had to say, took the poet's arm and walked slowly homeward, still hoping that some wiser and better man than himself would by and by appear, bearing a resemblance to great stone face. But Ernest was not that much happy. He was just not satisfied. Means poet said that Ernest was the person, or Ernest was the prophecy man, but Ernest didn't accept that, and he just went to his home with poet, and he was still hoping that some wiser man than him will come and bearing a resemblance to the great stone face. Indeed, this person is a great man. Indeed, he was a great soul. Means he didn't accept even that he had that quality of great stone, but actually he had. Here we can see that Ernest in a red sweater, it is Ernest, and later see, you can see that mountain. So very beautiful, as I told you, this story is. We have completed this story here. Now I would like to give you some words which is given in working with language. Page number 133. Those will help you in enriching your glossary. Page number 133. Okay, mark this meaning that best fits the word or a phrase in the story. Here we have sun going down. So A becoming smaller, weakening or setting. It is setting. It means setting. Okay. Next is brightening, I mean making it look bright and cheerful, lending it a special glow, causing it appear hopeful. It is making it look bright and cheerful. Spacious, it is lonely and wild, big and wide, special and important. Okay, so it is special and important. Number 4 we have prophecy. It is proverb, prediction, rumor. It is prediction. Okay. We have some more words. Please you note down this, or you can tick mark also. Some of the words I am giving you in homework, means you have to find out that. Here we have marvelous, it means wonderful. Proclaim means declare. This shelter you have to find out. Shelter, I think shelter is stay. Let me write here. Gazed, it means stared at. and took on. I mean, that is resembled. Took on means resembled. Okay, so this is exercise walking with language, which is page number 133 and page number 134. Okay, please you tick mark these, students. Okay, so this is for today's video, student. Now it's time to give you homework, and your homework is you have to write the new word of this video and this true false. Okay, true and false exercise. We have 6 true false that you have to write. Okay, in later video we will do that poetry. After that our syllabus will be completed. Please stay connected. Take care. Bye.